Alright, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not some premium format expert. I'm just a returning Vanguard player who recently dived into premium Vanguard format. With that fresh perspective, it's actually a huge advantage for content creation. Since we just got that new ban list that killed basically everything at the top in Worlds this weekend, I'm really interested in how the premium format's gonna shake out. Because I'm seeing this format without old biases, just deck potential, tournament research, and just overall sheer power of some decks. And with Worlds around the corner, I've really been looking into different decks and different techs and tournament results to figure out what decks have what it takes, so I'm excited to share that with you today. So today we're gonna talk about guaranteed picks, sleeper picks, and long shots. So whether you're a full-on ball knower or just a returning player to premium format like me, I wanna know what your World predictions are as well, because mine are in this video. Let's get to it. So starting off with the guaranteed picks. If you're not prepping for these, you're already behind. These are decks that I think you could see at the top tables and could honestly win the whole thing. Starting off with Night Rose. Even with the hit to Parting Shade to kind of slow down the power scaling of this deck still has everything to kind of make some noise. It has high power aggressive plays, stabilization plays with cards in stride such as Obadiah, and let's not forget an overwhelming finisher in Bartholomew. But above all else, it can maintain advantage easily and play very versatile into any matchup. Another deck that I'm looking at as a guaranteed pick is Victor. So Victor is the one deck I feel like that didn't get touched on the ban list. It kind of has everything as well. It even has a G-Guard that could do things on your opponent's turn with its ability to draw cards. And also has a PG that does that as well. Gunsdawn I think is a very powerful card, being able to give resist to kind of stop the Denial Griffin play. And let's not forget Vic 10 is such a powerful stride, being able to draw to and set yourself up for the rest of the game. So those are kind of the two decks that I kind of looked into. Some other decks that I want to mention that I think could really take the whole thing are Eradicators. I think Eradicator is always a safe pick just because it can manipulate the opponent's deck, retire things, and kind of stop your opponent from doing anything crazy. Angel Geese, it's a deck that I haven't played against really at all. And it's just a deck that I want to learn more as I kind of learn more into the premium format. And then of course OTT. I think in a smaller format, OTT actually serves itself really well just because of cards such as Momo and the power output, as well as Amaterasu being able to give itself triggers that way. It could just sack you out of nowhere and maintain advantage really well. So OTT and Ichikishima too, stopping G-Guards and Sentinels is just nuts. So just those are kind of the 6 decks that I think we'll see at the top. Next, going into my sleeper picks. These are the decks that I don't think enough people are talking about yet. And if piloted well, they could absolutely ruin somebody's bracket. So starting off is Spike Brothers. I think Spike Brothers has 2 decks that could take advantage of this tournament. Bruce Loop, I actually played against this deck at a BCS. I think that with its ability to get upwards of 15 attacks because of how little it takes for the deck to set up, mainly just drawing into 1 card, and its ability to keep your opponent at low damage to kind of keep them from doing anything, because you can do a lot with 1 counterblast in premium, is an effective way for this deck to win essentially every game. As well as Hellheart 8 Turbo. This deck has always been a threat in the premium format, and I just feel like it's only getting stronger with time just because of how many things have come out to support it. The Grade 1 G-Guard enabler is kind of the biggest one, with its ability to act as another heal trigger to accelerate into your Hellheart 8, and then people are now playing Mecha Trainer as starter to grab it from the deck, search any Grade 1 to make that closer and closer to buy your second stride. You just set up Hellheart 8 and the power output you have with it. It's just insane to me. So those are 2 decks in 1 clan that I think people got to watch out for. Another deck that also people need to watch out for is Dimension Police. First of all, I think Linka is actually a broken card that needs to go. But also Dyliner is very versatile. With its ability to have some power as well as scale on your opponent's turn with some shield is actually really good to make sure that you can run all the pieces and combo cards that you need in your deck, even if they're grade 3s with little to no shield value. This deck is also another deck that has everything. It has high power output Vanguard's ability to stabilize, and let's not forget how good of a stride Geo Maglass still is since its release, and could catch a lot of people off guard. And then next, Longshots. Are these insane or are these genius? These are decks that I don't think anybody's going to take, but if they do, and they start getting a little lucky, they might see themselves at the top. Starting off with Raging Form Dragon. Tried and true, Raging Form. Raging Form is a deck that I own, that all of you guys know I love and care about in Premium. I think it's a deck that if you high roll and you just win, with how many ways you have to get your setup, all you need is a Dark Blessed Angel to really pull off the 3 Vanguard swings, and there's a lot of ways to search it out. So even if you write it, if you have a Rakia, you could just grab it from the drop zone and call it to board. Or Fire Regalis, I think, is a card that came out and is just another way to search it out. and it really doesn't take a lot. And that's why I think Raging Form is still a decent pick for Worlds. And the last deck, all the ball knowers know, Megalazuchi Murakumo. This deck, if you know ball, you know this deck's been awesome. I can't remember where I saw it. I've seen it twice. I've seen 2 different builds going around. One uses Geese and one is like regular mixed with Murakumo. The Snake Murakumo deck is actually a deck that I think is really good because of its ability to maintain advantage, thin its deck effectively, and have high power output. People forget that the Snake copies any unit grade 1 or above with stealth in its name. So what they do is they copy original Yasui and use that ability to history stride into the train and just draw 2 with the Excel 2 markers, and then use its skill to call the grade 2, I forgot what it's called, and draw a bunch of cards that way, so that way you're set up. And then in the turn after, you stride into the premium collection stride and just get off 8 attacks to kind of close out the game. And people are also playing Shiryuki in the deck to kind of lower your opponent's power. So that way, either on your turn, you could lower their power, make their guarding a little more awkward, or on their turn survive easier, so you could get the game to an optimal state where you could just win the game. And I really think people are sleeping on this deck and the power it could have heading into the future. Just copying a name from an OG stride and striding into history is ridiculous if you ask me. But hey, that's what ball knowers do. They just find a way to make it work. But yeah, that being said, that's my predictions for Premium Worlds 2025. Now I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you what decks you think you're going to see at Worlds this weekend. Let me know your prediction in the comments below. Let's get a discussion going. And with that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.